and I'm like finishing my coffee, and I look in the sink.
Oh my gosh.
And he's there.
And there he
on
is.
the top of the chrome thing again.
That's so awesome.
and I look down at him and I swear he looks up at me and he goes, "Hey."
This time
what was that about?
This time he's like wringing out his antennae.
Yeah.
He's like,
he looked so mad.
Oh man.
I was like, I just killed you.
Yeah. And he's like, welcome to Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And then he goes, "Come."
You're like, wait,
and then
wait,
just
wait.
like reels back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me get this straight. You were taking a shower.
Yeah.
And there was this helpless, defenseless creature. And
Correct.
you decided, I am going to kill him.
Yes.
And you washed him down the drain.
Yeah.
And you get out of your shower, and he is still standing back where you found him.
He went right back to where he was originally. Yeah.
I'm
He's
just
like,
picturing him saying...
"Guess what?"
I'm just picturing him saying... He takes a giant puff of his cigarette. He's like... You should have gone for the jugular. And then he attacks you. He's like, jumps right on your face.
God,
You're like, oh, God, no, come on.
All of the other bugs just crawl out and they're holding me down. And
Yeah.
they're like, he's like going inside my ear. He's like, he's like, "Not the first hole I've gone down today, sucker."
Yeah. Hey there, all you banter biscuits. I'm in a tie.
And I am still a slob.
And whether you are in a tie or you're a slob or anywhere in between, everybody and anybody can click like and subscribe wherever you're listening to and give us a 5-star review so I can continue wearing ties and Garrett can also dress as a slob. Because if he doesn't, he's going to have to start dressing professionally because he's going to need a real job.
I'm a tie. I'm in a tie with you for this podcast and the points that we've earned.
Yeah.
You were in an actual tie.
Where do we tally the points? Like,
Oh, I have them on my wall right here.
oh, okay. Oh, why are they in blood?
I just turned the camera and there's just like all these crazy yarn lines with
Yeah.
like faces connected, like Al Capone, Pastor Kevin.
Ronald McDonald.
Yeah.
They're all connected somehow.
Yeah, and then there's a picture of you just looking down at mine like the Brady Bunch.
Yeah. And you're just
like-
looking up like all happy, like... And it says 4 murders in your area. It's like, and you eventually figure it at the end, all of the lines and yarn point back to you. And
Yeah.
you're like, oh, I'm the problem.
Yeah. And then I just slowly turn my camera back towards me and you're like, "Hit us up with some of that gravy."
Yeah, hit us up with some of that gravy garnish. You're like, we're actually going back to prisons because that's where I'm going. Fact number 1 of Alcatraz.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
So you look nice, but everything other than me looks nice. I don't know if you could tell that I did some arranging.
Yeah, the wall's green.
Now that we're taking a look at, we're doing some video things, I
Yeah.
decided to actually make an effort and make my camera look nice. So I've got the multicolors in there, the high frame rate on my camera. I don't know if you can tell.
Yeah.
Everything looks good. I also upgraded. I decided to remember I was telling you I was holding the biscuits hostage. I was never going to upgrade my microphone stand
Yeah.
until they shared enough for us to make money.
Yeah.
Yeah, I caved.
Yeah, there's no duct tape anymore.
Yeah. I found this thing. This belongs to me. I forgot that I had bought this a
Okay.
long time ago because I was like, someday I'll do a podcast, and then
Yeah.
just threw it in the back of my closet.
That's exactly how I am with many of my dreams.
Yeah. You're holding running shoes, and you're just at the Olympics in like 1936.
Oh gosh, why do we always go back to that one? The Nazi one?
Yeah, and there's just a line of runners, and there's one open spot, and they're just like waving you in, and you just take your tennis shoes and you just throw them behind you and take a big bite of sauerkraut.
Yeah, and I'm just like, I'm here to watch. Yeah, I have a lot of.
And then they
dreams.
bring Jesse Owens.
Dude, and that's how Jesse won.
Yeah.
A lot of my dreams get thrown in the proverbial closet because I just don't have time. I have this, and then I have work, and then I have whatever else I do.
Yeah. So I upgraded my microphone so I can bump it now.
Yeah.
See the little rubber cables?
Uh-huh.
But now I have nothing to hold over the biscuit's head to like threaten them with.
I want you to bump it right now.
Actually,
Nothing.
yeah.
Wow, that was incredible. You know what happens
So-
when I do that? Yeah.
Actually, I know what I think. What I could do is I could just threaten to talk, like just up my gain. And here, this is what I could do. Until you make us money, Banter Biscuits. This is what you're gonna hear. Ready?
Hi everyone, welcome to Banter Gravy.
Dear God, put it back. Put it back. Okay, I'll pay. I'll pay for them. Stop threatening the lifeblood of our podcast, meaning the people.
Yeah. So no, I'm not gonna do that. But yeah, seriously, you should help us out. Share this a couple times if you wouldn't mind, because I think it's good, don't you?
If I didn't, I wouldn't be here, Garrett.
If I didn't, I wouldn't be doing video editing now, which I never said I was gonna do.
So okay. Let's just cut to the chase here now. I'm a little nervous.
Why? Because there's a giant shark fin in my frame.
Okay, so
pointing right at me.
There are two reasons why I'm nervous. Because
it looks like it's going like, hey,
yeah,
you stay right there.
If there's a shark fin like that, it means the water is to your left, which means you're currently falling.
It looks like it's going, you sit right there.
Yeah, you sit right there. It's a shark's equivalent of a gun. Yeah. Why are they always Australian?
I don't know. Sharks just seem like they're Australian.
They get us with the it always has to be Australia with Nemo in this podcast.
Curly head pastas are friends, not food.
Please listen to Hillsong's latest album. So the the reason why I'm a little nervous is because I'm reading my notes of what we have planned for the biscuits and most importantly each other. And it says opening shenanigans, which never is a good sign.
We didn't get to it either.
Which is never a good sign. And then it says pumpkin bug.
Okay, you ready to hear a story?
I'm going to give you your time to shine because I'm nervous.
What's the opposite of shine?
Darkness. Complete.
So depending on how everybody feels after this, we'll see if it was my time to shine or make everybody feel like they're in dim darkness.
That's why the opposite of a star is a black hole, Garrett.
Yeah. That's really interesting.
Yeah.
You just sparked something up there.
Oh, dear God.
You just see my brain just going, pss, pss,
yeah, spaghettify. Yeah, it's spaghettifying in a black hole.
So I walked into my bathroom this morning.
Already off to a good start.
Don't. I walked in with my coffee because I drink my coffee in the shower. And I looked.
No, you're not getting away with that.
Okay,
you're gonna
you want to know more?
Why?
Well, because I don't have time. So
how? Like a mug?
The shower is when I relax.
Great. That's not what I care about. Is the coffee mug covered? Is it not? Like I'm picturing just you're in a shower and all this water's pouring into your coffee mug. You're like, it's not working.
I'm like, Audrey, it's a little weak today.
Yeah.
You're going to have to step up your game.
Little tappish.
Come on, woman. You're staying at home now.
Oh, my gosh. You called her a woman.
Oh,
my gosh.
So I put my coffee on the edge. I have an open shower. So our walk-in shower is so big that it doesn't, like, splash out. So I put my coffee mug on, like, the little lip that you step over before you get in.
You raised your nose when you said that, by the way.
It went a little bit.
Yeah. We have an open shower, so it's kind of big. Go ahead.
We're expecting the rainforest water head in next Tuesday.
Yeah.
But I can't find someone to take care of our plants who can take the shipments as well. So, no, we have a piece of garbage.
I know that the rainforest water takes away from the workers cutting down the cacao plants for our chocolate, but I need both at T-7 minutes.
When is the line from the Amazon going to be complete? Because Lake Erie's freezing over, and I'm going to need that done.
Thanks. Yeah.
So I put my coffee down. I kind of make sure everything's clean, ready to go, like so I can be efficient with my time because the kids are, downstairs. All I hear, by the way, when I shower is, "Hey, you get down from there!" Yeah. So I'm like, okay, how can I get out of here as soon as possible? Get down to help Audrey, and I everything's ready to go. I put my mug down and then I turn and I look in the sink. And there's this, that little thing that goes up and down in the middle of the sink? Where it's like you push the plunger, it's like right where the water goes down, the drain.
Are you talking about the drain?
Yeah, that little thing that goes up and down.
What's the thing that goes up and down?
I don't know what it's called, but you push it down to stop the water.
The plug?
Yeah, the plug thing. Yeah, and you know how
plug.
Every sink has like a thing on the back where you press down and it pops back up again.
Yes. Now you got me feeling stupid because I don't know what it's called. Yes, it's the plug puller.
Yeah. So I look there randomly before I get in the shower, and there is a little pumpkin bug.
What is that?
Sitting on there.
I'm picturing a bug with like a pumpkin as its back, like a Bulbasaur.
Just look it up.
Okay.
Clickety clack. I'll edit this.
Okay,
It's worth you knowing what he looks like.
Okay. Is that a stink bug?
It looks like it, kind of, doesn't it?
It's a squash bug. It's actually called a squash bug. You have your gourd wrong, sir.
I thought. I saw this papaya bug and I didn't know what to do with him, so I ate him.
That is a dragon fruit bug.
It's a dragonfly.
Yeah. Squash bug. Yeah. It's the Anassa tristis.
Yeah. So this squash bug is looking up at me and he's just like, hey. He was not there before. I looked in there just to make sure everything was ready to go. And then in the time that I got undressed, he crawled out of the drain.
Oh my gosh.
And went on top of that little chrome thing. And I was like, oh, that's cute. I don't like you.
Yeah. That's cute. And you just
I went back and forth about like, okay, I do care about God's creatures.
Do you?
But what's the alternative here?
This is the same guy that told me what's so important about the rainforest many episodes ago.
No, I don't care about the rainforest, but animals are alive.
They're in the rainforest, Garrett. All right, go ahead. Keep going. I'm gonna get through this one, I swear.
Seth is already touching his forehead. So I'm like, okay, normally I would just take him outside and put him in the garden. But I looked out the window, and there is 6 inches of snow on the ground.
You go in the garden. Garden's gone.
So I'm like, here you go. You can drink that when it melts. So I'm like, all right, what's more cruel, me washing him down the drain or me taking him out to the snow and releasing him into the wild again and him slowly dying a painful cold death?
I picture him like Jack Nicholson in The Shining outside in your front lawn.
Yeah.
Garrett!
Yeah. I'm like, you'll be fine. Spring's almost here.
Yeah.
So I just decided to wash him down and drown him. I was like,
oh my
sorry.
gosh, why did it get so dark?
So I was like, it's going to be faster this way.
Garrett.
If I take you out, if I squash you, I'll have to clean you up. So I'll just, I'll just wash him down. It's fine. I'll get over it. I wash him down.
I'm just so glad I'm so glad this isn't the late 18th century, and I'm interviewing the guy in charge of the guillotine for the French Revolution. So yeah, I could have hung, drawn, and quartered them, or I could have beheaded them.
I could have set them all on fire after dousing them in flammable liquid.
So what we decided to do was lock them in a chest and starve them to death. It's like, oh my gosh.
It was just more humane.
Yeah, so I decided to drown them down the drain. Anyway, yeah. Goodness.
So I take a shower, I get out, and I get my towel around me, and I'm like finishing my coffee, and I look in the sink.
Oh my gosh!
And he's there,
and there he
on
is.
the top of the chrome thing again.
That's so awesome.
and I look down at him, and I swear, he looks up at me and he goes, "Hey."
This time
what was that about?
This time he's like wringing out his antennae.
Yeah.
He's like,
he looked so mad.
Oh man.
I was like, I just killed you.
Yeah. And he's like, welcome to Dragon Ball.
Yeah. And then he goes, Ka me.
You're like, wait,
and then
wait,
just
wait.
like reels back.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
So, okay, let me get this straight. You were taking a shower.
Yeah.
And there was this helpless, defenseless creature, and
Correct.
you decided, I am going to kill him.
Yes.
And you wash him down the drain.
Yeah.
And you get out of your shower, and he is still standing back where you found him.
He went right back to where he was originally. Yeah.
I'm just picturing him saying,
what?
I'm just picturing him saying, he takes a giant puff of his cigarette. He's like, you should have gone for the jugular. And then he attacks you. He's like, jumps right on your face.
God,
You're like, oh God, no, come on.
All of the other bugs just crawl out and they're holding me down. And
Yeah.
they're like, he's like going inside my ear. He's like, he's like, not the first hole I've gone down today, sucker.
Yeah. Here's what I am picturing. And Warner Brothers or anybody, if you're listening, please make this a movie immediately, or at least a short skit. Pixar,
They
if you're
never
listening,
listen to us.
If you're listening, Pixar, because back when you were good, you used to do these little mini movies before the main movie. Okay. I want there to be a movie about Garrett or someone who looks like Garrett, maybe a little bit more muscle, maybe a little bit, just a bit more everything, because, well,
No, they should be scrawny.
yeah.
Let's-
Okay. No,
let's
just like Garrett.
Let's make it real.
I want him to look like Vice President Stevens of the Confederacy, very gaunt and always wrapped in a blanket.
Yeah. With my hand in my pocket.
I want
but
this
it's
to
way
be
up
Garrett.
here on my chest.
Yeah, because he's a part of the Illuminati. I want Garrett to be in the shower after he puts the bug down the drain. And there's two different scenes going on. It's Garrett showering all nicely with his shower coffee playing to the background, nice relaxing hotel lobby music. And then
Can the censorship please be bubbles?
Oh, it always will be. And
Not
then
the black box,
and then the
please.
other scene, it'll keep cutting back and forth, is Hans Zimmerman music playing in the background of this bug trying to climb up this drain.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
And he has like a companion who eventually follows. He's like, Chloe, no! And he's like still climbing. He's like, dang you, Gixel. I will. And then it just goes back to you like, oh, I got soap in my eyes.
I'm like, oh, Audra must have made Colombian today.
Oh, could have been better. And then he's just still climbing
Girl
up
of
the drain.
Impanina is playing.
Yeah, exactly. And then the other
And
thing,
then it's just Duels of the Fates.
Duels of-
Yeah,
I swear to God, Gixel, when I get up here, it'll be the last shower you ever take.
Chloe's like,
Yeah.
I was pregnant.
Yeah. Did I make it, Damien? And he closes all like 7 of her eyes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Just
Like, I was carrying your eggs.
Garrett's gonna
So the
love
story's
shower
half over.
Garrett's gonna love the shower he's taking because I'm about to fly at him like a dove. And that's
Yeah.
just Dove bar soap.
Yeah.
You using that. Just
The camera reels back like slowly, and it's just like the Gone with the Wind theme. Da-na-na-na. It's like, I will have my revenge.
Yeah.
And then it just goes silent, and I'm standing there in a towel, and he's like, hey. So that's where we're at.
Okay.
So I'm like, get back down there. And I flick him. And he's like,
come back down.
and he does that thing, that bug thing on his back where he's like,
He's just his legs and arms are what are they? Are just in the air.
so I've now pushed him down about 70 IQ points.
This is the Darth Maul of bugs, dude. You just keep throwing him
Yeah.
down this hole and he keeps
Yeah.
coming back up.
So I wash him down again. And this time I'm like, let's use some hot water.
You are so bad.
I want him. I don't want this to happen again.
You're just like, I want him dead.
So I decided to move on with my life, and I go into my bedroom, I get dressed,
Okay.
and I'm like, okay, cool, I'm ready for my day, but I got to go shave now. So I walk in to the bathroom, and this MFer.
This is a clean show, everybody.
Oh, sorry. I walk into the bathroom, and this bad A of a bug is crawling
You bet.
up, not the side of the sink that it like slowly slopes up. His arms are like this, like all sprawled out, and
Oh
he's
my
just
gosh.
slowly going like this
Up the drain.
side
That's
of
what
the
I'm
back
telling
of
you,
the sink.
dude.
And I'm like, oh my gosh, am I? What is going on here?
You're
Have I
losing.
discovered the one animal that can survive anything other than a cockroach?
Yeah.
Including a like nuclear attack? So I'm like, I was thinking to myself, like, remember how like in the olden times where if they hung you and you didn't die, you just got to live? They're like, well, he didn't die in 16 minutes, so he gets to go free now.
We are reading two different versions of the history of the world.
What am I thinking of? Didn't they let people go?
If you survived being hung, they would just hang you harder.
Oh, really? What
They
am I
would tie
thinking
the
of?
noose.
In antiquity, like the execution, where if you
know.
survived it, you could just go on. I'm thinking like ancient Rome.
Maybe. I just know in America, if it's not done right the first time, we will try every time to do it.
Yeah. Maybe it was the electric chair. Wasn't it? Where if they shock you and you don't die, they're just like, well, that was your sentence. You didn't happen to die.
This whole story is an electric chair. Please keep going.
Okay. So I did the exact same thing again.
Oh my gosh.
I-
There's an Einstein quote about this. You know
Except
that, right?
this, doing the same thing over and over again, expecting different results.
Yeah, it means
Yeah.
that you're insane.
We all knew that, though.
you all knew that when you pressed play.
So this time I turned on the hot water. If we have our hot water heater on full blast because I don't like to mess around with like running out of hot water.
No, because if it's not scalding, it's not working.
Right. So I like to be able to have scalding water.
Yeah.
So I open the hot water and I wait till it goes down and there's just steam, just shh, and this bug is just like, I will survive. And the waterfall is going down.
Get you!
And I just took it. I just put my finger on the top of his head and I was like, okay, all right, let's go.
Yeah,
and just pushed him down
my gosh.
into the hot water, and I swear I saw him go.
Like convulsing? He's just like...
And then I got in my car and went to work.
When was this?
Today, this morning.
So, all right, all you banter biscuits out there, I got $50 that Garrett's going to go home.
And he's going to be there in my bed.
And I was honest to God going to saying he's going to be in your bed.
Yeah, but he's holding a knife.
And he's holding a knife up to Audrey. He's like, take a seat, Gitchell.
Yeah.
And he has like all these scalding burns on him.
Audrey's sitting there like...
Yeah. And then the book goes, Elle, can you please bring me the bigger knife? And he gets British all of a sudden. And I was like...
Elle's become a part of its clan.
I was like, doggo, and go give some knife.
Except I look around and Elle's not there. And the bedroom door just slowly shuts.
Yeah.
And she's back behind there. And she's like, Poopy.
Yeah. Take a seat, Gitchell. We have a lot to talk about.
Yeah. So anyway, that was how I started my day today. I learned my lesson. Take him outside.
I don't even think that would have worked.
No, he would have come back in, huh? Yeah.
All right, Garrett. How often do you go bowling?
About once a year.
And when is it?
Are you talking about buzzards or in the alley?
Wait. Okay.
Driving in or seagulls, because I do all three.
Okay, hold on. Is this
Two of them are with my car.
Is this just whole episode you attacking the animal kingdom?
No, that's just been my entire life.
So when I say bowling, you think running over birds.
The point of this episode where I said I really love all of God's creatures is not aging well.
It's aging like cottage cheese out in the hot sun, buddy.
But okay, so bowling alley bowling, I do once a year.
Okay.
I go once a year.
Yeah, when is that?
When I start going crazy in spring and it's not getting warmer.
Okay. That was oddly specific. That means that's coming up.
Yeah, so pretty soon.
I only go bowling around New Year's, or at least like December or January.
Why? Is that just like a tradition?
Back when I was a kid, like we would bowl for New Year's Eve, like have a bowling thing because my parents knew like the people who own the bowling alley. Nowadays, I'm in charge of I'm like one of the leaders of the young adult group at my church, and they like to go bowling in January. So, mind you, I tell them this, guys, I only go bowling once a year.
Did the soft piano music start playing behind you?
Yeah, and it's like dun, 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 dun,
Yaruma.
Dun, 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 dun. That's from Naruto. Yeah. And so I'm literally saying have no expectations because I only bowl once a year.
Expectations out of you or out of the trip?
Out of me.
Oh, okay.
I only go bowling once a year so much that the last time I went bowling was at that same bowling alley with those same people on the same day a year ago.
Okay, gotcha.
Okay.
Right. So you're like, fancy meeting you here again.
So they decide, oh, yeah, he's only been bowling once. So the prize if you win is a $20 gift card. And I'm like, well, I'm not winning.
Yeah.
Because I've only been bowling once a year.
Yeah.
And we go to bowl. And there's like 30 of us, maybe. No,
Dang,
maybe 25.
How big is your young adults group?
It's actually it's much like this podcast. It is getting out of control with the growth
Lord in
that it's
heaven.
making. Yeah, it's incredible actually. It's growing a lot. So they just put us on random teams, and I'm playing me and my new friend who I made, Andrew. His name's Andrew. No, I made his name Andrew. It's actually Kevin. And a bunch of girls. Now, mind you, I'm a married man, so I'm not like competing to impress anybody.
I remember.
Yeah, because it's me. And, you remember? Yeah, Garrett was my best man.
Yeah.
Everybody. Yeah, Garrett was there during my COVID wedding. We'll make that an entire episode.
I also remember when you were trying to impress everybody. It was wonderful.
Yeah. And so we're bowling, and they're like, oh, Seth, you won't be that bad. Gutter ball. And they're like, okay, well, that was just a fluke. I'm like, guys, I'm not kidding. I only go bowling once a year. This is just for all of you. Okay.
You're standing there with your arms folded backwards, the alley's behind you, and they're like, you're not that bad. And a bowling ball just falls out of the ceiling and and just all of the crumbling pieces. And you're just like, that was my ball last year.
And the squash bug is there at the bowling alley trying to reform its life and just gets smashed by it immediately.
It just crawls like, hey.
Yeah. Hey. What are you doing? It's like, I traded one idiot in Cleveland for another in Cincinnati, and I'm just pushing it down the drain with Hobby. I'm like, no.
Yeah.
No. And so it's my turn to bowl again for the second part because you get to bowl twice when you're bowling if you don't get a strike. And for all my Russian and India listeners right now, because you make up actually a percentage of our audience now, we're finding out
3%.
Yeah. So when you bowl and you don't get a strike, you get to go again in that round. So I get to go again. Gutter ball.
Ow. Just the chances alone of 2 in a row are automatically, because you're bowling straight forward.
I bowled 7 gutter balls.
No, you did not.
My score.
There's no way, dude.
I got last for the first game.
You did it intentionally, didn't you? This is Freudian.
My score was 48.
You can't bowl 7 gutter balls. There's no way.
I didn't realize you could even get 48 when bowling.
They're like, yeah, we just give you 50 points automatically for hitting no pins.
And so someone comes up to me and they put their hand on my shoulder, and I'm looking at them like, haven't bowled? They're like, yes, haven't bowled in a year. Here's what you need to do.
Yeah.
They're like,
was it the sympathetic squeeze?
Just do 2 steps to the right.
Yeah.
And I look at them, and I'm obviously being dramatic, but I'll just do this for the story because it's hilarious. Tears are welling up in my eyes, and I look at him. I said, no, sir, you don't understand. You don't know what you have created telling me to go 2 steps to the right.
Uh-huh.
And the new game starts. Strike.
Oh, nice. Okay.
And then a strike.
There you go.
And then more strikes.
You were just misaligned. That's all.
I went from last to first.
Yeah.
And everybody was like, he was scamming us. He was scamming us. And I look at the guy who told me to go 2 steps to the right, who's now frustrated with how well I'm doing. I'm like, I told you not to do this.
Or did you just figure it out in that time frame?
I don't know what happened. Here's really what made the difference, everybody. I instead of running,
you're like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, as you just throw it through the middle of your legs.
Yeah.
And do a backflip.
As I throw it in the other lane. The only thing I did differently was I walked like I was walking a tightrope to the line.
Oh, gotcha.
And then
Twinkle toes.
Yeah.
That's my bowling name, by the way.
That's more than your bowling name, but I'll tell you about that later off camera. And I was just rolling. I get a strike. I went from 48 to 128.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And I was just like, wow, I almost got half as good as I should have been.
You went from completely miserable to basically acceptable.
Yeah, to moderately adequate. So when I go and I bowl next year, after 1 full year, I guarantee you this is going to happen again.
Were you using the girl ball? The 1 pound pink fluorescent ball that basically floats?
I tried the pink ball a few times.
Okay.
I couldn't get my fingers, so I had an orange one that said 10 or 11.
Oh, it's way too light, dude.
And then I had a blue one that said 14, and that's the one I kept getting my strikes.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow.
Yep.
My hand was completely mutilated. I felt like a worker boy in 1902. Please, sir, young man, stick your hand in the machine to get the rice out. Please, sir, I can't. This is my only hand left. Yeah, I had to play bass 2 days later. I completely shot myself in the foot, dude. Like,
oh my gosh.
Like my hand's hurting on Saturday night. I'm like, I didn't even win the gift card.
Yeah. Your pastor's just like, you're fine. And you just lift up your hand and it's just a chicken thigh.
Yeah. It's more
against the strings.
Would you like garlic with that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So I made a bowling comeback and it was amazing, but I still didn't win the gift card. I had a mutilated right hand and I had to play bass 2 days later because of that.
Yeah, but you got the best prize of all, revenge on yourself.
On me.
Yeah.
Garrett, I'm so freaking ready for this. Tell me your ADHD testing results. So, Banter Biscuits, a few episodes ago, Garrett was telling me and telling all of you that he was getting ready to go take an ADHD test. So he went to the doctor's office and the doctor was asking him all these questions and Garrett was trying to go into his life story. The doctor didn't care, like a normal person. And then Garrett had to be called back to take a 5 hour, right? 5 hours? Mm-hmm. A 5 hour ADHD test. They basically just locked him in a room. Every now and then the latch would open up and they throw goldfish at him. And they said, eat it, Gitchell. And they would have you do different things. So here's how I want us to do this, man. I want you to tell me what the experience was like. I want you to tell me all the intricacies of it. And I want you to tell me the test result. Are you ready?
Huh? What?
you were
What'd you say?
Yeah, you weren't paying attention. You were looking elsewhere. Weren't you?
No, I was paying attention.
Yeah, okay. I'm like, do we
But that's
even
what-
need
that's
to
what-
know? That's what ADHD people do. Yeah.
If I don't think about it, that's what I literally do all day.
Yeah.
Okay. So the first thing you said, the experience,
Yeah.
I wanted to die.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Did you get the picture of me that I sent you right after you asked me? And then I was like, just got out of my testing.
Yeah, look at your hair.
Yeah.
Why do you look like you were bound to a chair and they put something over your head the entire
Dude,
time?
This experience was the equivalent of spreading my brain's legs and kicking it in the crotch for 6 hours.
Oh my gosh, dude. Oh my gosh.
It was horrible. Absolutely horrendously, agonizingly horrible, dude. 6-hour test. I texted, or Seth texted me something about the podcast, asked me if something was ready yet, and I sent him a picture of me, and he just goes, ah.
Yeah. Garrett has, and we can post this for the episode description. Garrett had the same face that you would have if you waited an hour in a Taco Bell drive-thru for your food.
Yeah.
It was
so,
that.
So this is real. This really happened. I was finishing that text conversation, and I was getting our car in gear, or my car, ready to pull out, ready to go home. And I pressed forward on the gas and crashed directly into a handicap sign with the front of my car, just right into it,
Oh
just
my
right into
gosh.
that's how my brain was functioning after going through this. And I thought I like damaged my car, but I got out. It was one of those ones where it's like
It goes over the thing and you back up and go.
and it was like the concrete block
Oh my gosh,
that you can move around.
Yeah.
So I
Not
hit it with
easily.
my car.
Yeah.
And it just went and like slid because like everything's covered in ice right now.
Yes. Yeah.
So I just sat there for a second and
Yeah.
I put the car back in gear and I just went, okay, let's go.
I'm out of here.
I drove home. I think I texted you that happened and you were like, I don't know, what did you say? You're like, easy, you'll be able to park in one of those spots when you get your diagnosis. Oh man!
Now the world knows. Now the
It was
world knows,
awesome.
Gitchell.
That was the best zing in the
Yeah.
in the entire history.
Listen,
of
I
zings.
have family members who have ADHD, so no offense, but I couldn't resist when Garrett said, "Yeah, I knocked down the handicap sign after my ADHD test."
Yeah. So I'll just go through like a couple of the segments that I went through. The first thing was these blocks. All right. So you go in and they
Now
give you a
build-
picture.
Built the tower,
It's-
Garrett.
The blocks are they have triangles. It's 2 triangles put together to make a cube, and one side of it is white, one side of it is red. And so you can, depending on the way they face up, one's red, one's white, one's got a diagonal red-white split down the middle. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So they show you a picture, and it's got all these diagonal red and white lines, and you have to create the picture that you see
Okay.
in the blocks,
Right.
and they time you. I was magnificent. I was absolutely magnificent. I did. It starts out, all of these are the same, by the way. So
Yeah.
they start out really easy. The first one is like 2 blocks together. So it's like a white triangle, you put 3, and then you're done. And then he's sitting there with a time clock going, when I finished. And then it gets more and more complex. And then they take away the border, which is, you can't tell
okay.
which side it's oriented. So you
Yeah.
have to make it regardless of the way the paper's facing.
As opposed to our current politics, where we're trying to make the border much
We're
stronger.
just trying to draw lines
We're
in it.
just,
Yeah,
we're just
right.
using Sharpie at this point. Like, yeah.
Our political line is around both of us in a circle.
Yeah. It's me and you, and everybody else. Like, well, what do you believe? You don't want to know. It's just going to take you off.
We don't want to know.
A lot more cheese wheels. That's your only hint.
The presidential motorcade starts approaching our town and then just goes, whew,
Yeah,
and
just
like,
immediately, just like gets on the exit.
yeah,
Like,
sir, you don't want to go this way.
yeah,
And
these
just yeah.
roll them up, roll them up.
So it didn't seem to matter. The only thing is that it took a little bit longer to put the actual blocks in place because there were more of them, right?
Gotcha,
So eventually
yeah.
using 20, 30 of these tiny blocks to make a picture. And it took a little bit longer to put them in place, but I could see it. Like from an overhead perspective, I knew exactly what blocks and what to do and how to fit it in. And he stopped and he goes, wow. And I'm like, you're not allowed to tell me how I did, huh? He's like, nope.
He's just writing some. Wow, what a total moron.
Yeah. No, the look on his face, he was implying that I was ahead of the curve, which based on the results I was. So that I was in like the 70, I think 80 percentile.
Okay.
80th percentile, which is better than 80% of the people who take it. So I was feeling really good. The next thing was sequential numbers.
Okay.
So he goes, repeat after me.
2 comes after
1,
3.
2.
Yeah.
I'm like, 1, 2, looking like there's like about to be a net that comes out of like the side and captures me.
Yeah.
He's like, repeat after me. 1, 4, 6. I'm like, 1, 4, 6. And then fast forward to 3 minutes later, he's going 1, 4, 6, 9, 10, 7, 0, 6, 6, 4, 6, 0, 7, 5. And he's going down a list of 20 numbers. My job is to say them from memory. And I did okay in that. And then he's like, okay, this next one's a little bit more difficult. You have to say them back to me backwards.
Oh no! It's and then you mess up and he takes a line and goes over your eyes. He's like, "Sir, have you been drinking tonight?"
Yeah. Suddenly I'm in a car.
Yeah. Suddenly he's like, walk in a straight line for me. Like, what? Oh, what?
What does this have to do with
Wait,
ADD?
hold on. The cops are just there.
The cop's like, let's get real. You never know where you are anyway.
Yeah,
do you?
this isn't an ADHD test. Sir, you are inebriated beyond belief. We're gonna need your driver's and registration. Yeah.
So I did horrible.
Yeah, no doubt. I will. Oh my gosh.
The second part of that, I think he was like, all right, repeat them back to me. And like, it starts off, you can do the first 3 because it's the last ones that he says. So you can remember like the last, but by the time he gets to the end of 30 numbers, I don't remember what the first 3 numbers were or the backwards order of them. So I was already feeling like it was unfair, but
Garrett's mad at the rules.
I was a little bit mad that I couldn't achieve a 160 IQ. Yeah, so I'm just like, okay, let's just tell him I can't do this. So at the end, I start going like, and that's all I remember. It's all I got, bud.
Yeah.
So that was that one. The next part was the best part I did, which was general knowledge. And this was the weird, surprising thing to me. So what would happen is he would ask me a question, just general knowledge about the world. And I would think to myself, I don't know the answer to that. And then about 3 seconds later, it would randomly pop into my head. And I got all the questions except one.
Oh, man.
So I wrote down a couple of them just so I could share them. It was, who wrote Alice in Wonderland?
Oh, what's her face?
And I was like, I told him that. I was like, oh, I don't know. And then he was like, okay. And then I was like, I know.
You're like, sir, if these are all going to be pop culture, you're in for a neat day.
I was like, is it too late? He's like, no, you can answer. And I was like, Lewis Carroll. And he was like, oh, cool. You got it. And I was like, I didn't know I knew that.
Yeah.
It was like, I've never discussed it. I must have read it somewhere.
You just hear like a Jeopardy buzzer, and then you're like, okay.
What is Lewis Carroll?
Yeah, what is Lewis Carroll? He's like, all right, Garrett, next for you to pick up on the board. You're like, all right, guitars for 800. Guitars for 800.
He's like, now you got it wrong.
Yeah. Oh.
Another one was, who was the president in 1863?
Oh, let me get this.
Well, I mean, you know this because you study history.
Oh, I wanted to
but go ahead.
Lincoln.
Yeah, it was Lincoln. But I was thinking, like, unless you actually have studied the Civil War, unless you've memorized, like, the years presidents were in office, if you didn't have any knowledge of the Civil War, you wouldn't know when President Lincoln was president, would you? Right? I mean, like, am I wrong?
Someone who is extremely intelligent once came up and told me, yeah, so the Civil War is in the 1940s, right? So yeah,
gosh.
you're not expected unless you really know, which is a very sad
I started feeling like a Slumdog Millionaire. Do you remember that movie?
I've never seen it, but yes, I know what it is.
He answers all the $1 million questions randomly, and he goes back to things of his life when he learned that information randomly.
Right.
He asked me who Sacagawea was. And I was like, do I get extra points if I say both the names of the explorers? And he's like, there's no such thing as extra points, sir.
Yeah. You're just stripping apart the entire structure of the rules. You're like, all right, hold on. What's a 2-point shot in this? What?
Can I make up an answer? Can you say I got one right? So I just said Meriwether Lewis and William Clark. She helped guide them through the wilderness. She was a Native American. She joined the expedition, and he was like, okay, that's enough. I got the answer.
Had a baby.
Yeah. Another one was, what's the circumference of the Earth? 24,901 miles. I was like, I randomly knew that. I was like, okay.
Shoot. Nope, not me. Did not know that.
Yeah,
That was incredible.
it's just
That's
it's just
incredible,
stored.
dude.
It's
Holy
just
crap.
I can't tell you how.
My word.
It's just up here. So that one I got in the 98th percentile.
Okay.
So better than 98% of all people. Then came math.
Oh no, I would have been done. Yeah, no, that. Oh no.
This destroyed me.
Yeah.
Absolutely in every way. Emotionally, physically, spiritually, I felt the worst. I had to like give myself a pep talk after. Like,
Oh my gosh.
hey, remember, Garrett, remember your kids love you. Audrey stayed with you for 15 years.
Right. I have a podcast. I have a mildly successful podcast.
Yeah.
And you're just hearing, if you don't pass the math portion, Garrett, I swear to God, I'm leaving this podcast.
Yeah.
And you're like looking around, and then you see me across the street in another building with binoculars.
Yeah. Episode 40, I just pop into Jack Trip, and you're sitting there with Louis Howell, or what's his name? The bald guy.
Howie Mandel?
Howie Mandel.
Oh, where's my
I just
test?
pop in.
I totally
Ding
got that
dong.
one. Yeah.
And he's just there, and I'm like, who is this, Seth?
That wasn't Howie Mandel.
Oh,
Are you talking about Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
no. That was Regis Philbin.
Yeah. Wait.
No.
No,
But
yeah.
that would be a better host.
Yeah, but that's where you call in a friend. What game show are you talking about?
I was talking about, didn't he do the briefcase game?
Deal or No Deal? We are talking
Yeah.
about the same thing.
Yeah.
Oh, can
yeah.
you call a friend into that?
Yeah. No, I don't think you can.
Oh, okay.
What would you ask them?
I don't know.
What
Which
briefcase
case?
do you think it's in?
Which case?
Yeah. So here's an example of the first question. It was like, Johnny has 6 apples. He has 80 friends in his friend group. He has to divide those apples once per day between all of his friends. How many slices does he have?
I swear to God, I immediately
how far
zoned
away
out.
is he from Philadelphia?
Dude, I don't remember what all of this, what you just said. Do I have ADHD? Like, you were talking and my brain just went a completely different direction.
No, this is how it started. It was like,
Whoa.
it was like, Julie is in a car going 85 miles an hour.
Okay, but what car?
And she's driving 75 miles an hour on Tuesdays.
85.
How many miles per gallon will she use going to work Monday through Wednesday, April through June?
Did he
And I'm
verbally
like,
tell you this?
What are you talking about?
I zoned out after the first 4 words.
Yeah, no, it started out. It was to be fair, it does take a beautiful mind, and people can do this.
Starring Russell Crowe.
Can he be our third co-host?
I hope so, man.
But he's not. He doesn't contribute to it. His video screen is just him fighting people in the background,
oh my gosh.
just beating people up
Just
as we're
Russell
talking.
Crowe as we're talking.
Like, you doing all right there, Russell? He's like, yeah, I'm fighting him.
Yeah, glass just gets on your shoulder and you don't even think about it. You just brush it off and continue talking. Like, whatever.
I'm like, hit me up with some of that gravy. So anyway, I got them all wrong, 100% of them. I was in like the 10 percentile. And he even told me in our debrief, he was like, if you had done a lot better on that section, your IQ would have been like 10 points higher.
yeah, for sure.
And it would have put
dude.
me in a different category, which I won't discuss because I don't know if we're revealing my IQ number
I
just
don't
yet.
think we're
but
doing that, but I'm getting a good estimation.
it would have put me in a much, much better place. So
Right.
basically, I had all these good tests, and this math one drug the average down.
Oh, dude.
Just
math
tanked it.
always does, man.
But
Like,
the thing is, I felt it was just like, who can do this? And I couldn't do scratch paper. I told him, I was like, I remember doing this stuff in like high school, but they gave me paper. Like I had a pencil. I could actually draw out the problems. He's like, yeah, this has to be in your mind.
yeah, all I remember from high school is I kept getting lectured. Seth, you're not going to have a calculator with you when you go to the grocery store.
Yeah.
And I'm at the grocery store and
You
I'm
have
panicking.
one in your pocket.
Yeah, and my senior self from high school is panicking. He's like, "Oh my gosh, what am I going to do? How am I?" And then I pick up my phone. I'm like, "What am I doing?"
Yeah.
Yeah. Like,
So there was a bunch of other, for the sake of time, I'll just fast forward to the end. So he's like, okay, the last part is you're going to be on the computer and you're going to answer some questions.
why is this getting CIA-esque in
it's
my
a
head
little
all of a
long.
sudden? Yeah. Oh,
I was
no.
like, it's hour 5, bruh. And you're going to tell me it's a little long
Yeah.
now? So I go through 280 questions.
Oh my gosh.
And the little progress bar is not even
It's not moving.
It's not even to halfway.
Yeah. Oh my
280 questions.
That's amazing.
And these are questions like, they were so weird. They go from like very lighthearted to extremely heavy. So it would be like, do you like puppies?
No!
And I'd be like, yes. And then the next one would be like, do you see things that other people don't see?
And you know, is it multiple choice or is it extended response?
It's true and false.
I would have, if there was an extended response to that question and they would have asked me, do you see things other people don't see? And I would say, yeah, they're full potential.
Yeah. Do other people get things that you don't? Do other people see things that you don't tend to see? Yeah, a decent paycheck.
I mean, am I right? And the computer has just a white glove come out and smack you twice in the face, and it just goes back in again.
Or it's like it got like an old style fax machine that's just like, and it just says you're horrible.
Yeah, you suck.
It was true and false. So it was like, I see things sometimes that other people say that they can't see, and it would be like true or false. And then it would be like, I enjoy a nice warm sunny day, and it'd be like true. And then it would be like, sometimes I think about hurting people physically. Can
you be more specific? What people? Like my friends or people that have wronged me, sir?
Yeah. So I get to 280 questions.
Oh my gosh.
And I see the little buffering wheel. And I just stop and I let it go for about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
And then I just go, teacher.
Yeah.
And I was like, how many questions are there? And he's like, about 600.
No, stop.
And I'm like, I'm almost halfway, but it's buffering and it's been doing that for like 3 minutes. And he's like, oh, that's not good.
Oh my gosh.
So he tries to like finagle with it. And he's like messing with the system, restarting it, stopping it again. It just stays there.
Right.
And he tells me, he's like, I'm sorry, you're going to have to do this over again.
Oh my God. Did you leave?
I got my jacket.
Yeah, you left?
Got my jacket. I put it on. I was like, you can send this to me. I will do it online. I will do this from home.
Yeah.
You can put me back to where I was.
Yeah.
And he's just like, oh, no problem. Like, we'll just send it to you. You can do it in the comfort of your own home. You will have to start over again. But,
and you're just like, ignoring that part.
Yeah. So I put on my jacket. I'm like, it's not his fault. So I'm being nice.
Yeah.
I wasn't that stark with him. I was like, yeah, I have to go.
Yeah.
And I walk down the hallway, and the big guy in charge meets us in the hallway.
Wait. The big guy, what? God?
The guy he's the head over this office.
Right. Okay.
Right. So I'm with one of his underlings.
Okay. Wow. The way you refer to people's roles. Go ahead.
And he's just like, how'd the test go? And I was like, it crashed. He's like, wait, what? I was like, your computer crashed. And he's like, hold on. He's like, where are you going? I was like, I'm going home. You're going to send this to me. And he's like, no. You're not going anywhere. And he pulls me back into the room.
No.
And he sets it up and gets me back to where I was.
You want to play a game?
And he just looks at me and he's like, all right, go ahead and continue.
You're so bad.
I'm like,
Garrett.
How much is it possible to hate a human?
Do you remember the timeshare episode of South Park?
Yeah.
And you just walk out.
And they walk into the next room, and there's a steak dinner sitting there, and they're like, oh, looks like you made it to the next part of the wonderful weekend here. Have a seat.
What, is everybody in town in on this? And they just lock the door and pull out guns. Everybody in town. Me, the mayor, the police force, the governor, the president, everybody. Now, why don't you sit down and finish the test?
Yeah.
And you just hear a phone call for me.
So if you take out your orange blocks now.
Yeah, you just hear a phone call for me, and you just hear, you just hear tape in my mouth, and I'm like, Garrett, don't do what they say. And they immediately like,
and I just put my coat back on, and I'm like, you can do whatever you want with this.
And you just hear me on the phone, wait, what? And it just hangs up.
Yeah, it just goes dead. So I finished the test.
He's fine.
It took a lot longer.
Yeah, dude, it's 600 freaking questions.
Yeah, so I left. It was dark, and then I crashed into a handicap pole.
Okay.
So you're ready for my results?
Yes, I am.
All right,
I'm
going to start a drum roll right now. Ready? Here?
Yeah, here we go.
I am incredibly average. So I have ADD.
You have ADD?
I have very mild ADD.
But you don't have ADHD.
I am on the inattentive side of it. So it's what people would refer to ADD back in the day before they called it they call it ADHD now. Nobody calls it ADD anymore. But the hyperactive part of it, where like you can't focus. I'm the other one. So he gave me a bunch of tools to use. And he explained to me.
So give me a clear-cut diagnosis right now. You have what?
I have ADHD. Like it's
you have
diagnosed.
ADHD.
Yeah.
Mild ADHD.
So it's official. It's not severe. It's not in like the mild. It's like the lighter side of it. I definitely have it.
You have moderately mild ADHD.
Yeah. Right.
Okay.
Yeah. And in terms of like the intelligence part of it, which I was actually more intrigued by because I already knew about the ADHD stuff. I've got tools that I'm using to cope with the day and all that stuff. But I don't know. Do you want to reveal my IQ, the IQ side of it?
Well, now that you keep talking about it, I do want to know. Yes.
I'm thinking we save it for next episode.
Fine. Okay. Well, now I'm at the edge of my seat, but now I want to listen to episode 40 because it's our 40. So why don't we reveal your IQ during episode 40?
Okay. All right.
And hopefully
Banter
not forget
Biscuits,
about it.
feel free to start all of your betting with your friends.
On a
I want to see some money being exchanged
is
over
an
this.
IQ. Like what like
An IQ?
Yeah.
So it's your intelligence quotient.
I know what that is, but like what's considered like below normal, average, and then high, and then I have a scale to work with.
Okay. Let's actually read the real scale. Okay, so if you have a 1 to 24 score, profound mental disability.
Oh man.
Profound.
Wow. Excuse me, sir. This mental disability is
profound.
Is quite profound.
The ADHD kid just turns and goes, huh?
Yeah. It's just me playing with Legos. Like, what?
What? I zoned out for a minute there. 25 to 35, severe mental disability. 40 to 54, moderate, and there's an ad. Moderate. I'm like, oh, a gerbil.
Yeah.
55 to 69, mild mental disability. 70 to 84, borderline mental disability. And this is where it takes a real turn. 85 to 114, pretty big span.
Yeah.
Average intelligence.
Oh, thank God. That's probably me, I hope, right?
Do you know your IQ?
Nope.
I saw a video this morning. I was interested in like what the average occupations are, what the average IQs are for occupations, and teachers were the highest.
I'm an opportunist. I just weasel my way into good situations.
It literally said high school and higher learning teachers. It was like in the 140s or like 130s.
I'm a
like
middle
average.
school teacher.
So 130 to 144 is moderately, 115 to 129 is above average or bright.
Oh.
So a person who's like, oh, they're really smart.
Okay.
Usually that's what they fall in.
Yeah.
130 to 144, moderately gifted. Now this is where the numbers really start dropping off. I was told that 60% of all people are in that middle range, the 85 to 114. About 60% of humans. But the majority of the other percentages are in the lower side. So it's like you're talking about like 10% of people are in this category or higher. And then the people who are in like the 180, 160 zone, they're like once in a generation. You know what I mean? So like it gets more and more rare as it goes up.
160 to 180 zone?
Yeah, somewhere in there.
Okay.
130 to 144, moderately gifted. 145 to 159, highly gifted. 160 to 179. Notice that the actual numbers are getting smaller now. Exceptionally gifted, and then the last category is if you're 180 or above, you're profoundly gifted.
Okay.
Which I don't know if they've ever measured a person. I have to look into it.
So we're next week. We're gonna.
Well, I want to hear
reveal your
which one
IQ.
you think I am.
I don't. So here's how I know I have ADHD. I don't remember a single darn thing you just said. I don't remember, Garrett. I all of a sudden like I felt my brain like getting warm.
Crack in half?
Yeah, I felt it
Yeah.
getting warm, and I'm like, okay, so how would I make that into a meal?
It's like the
that's-
iPhone when it can't find a signal and it starts heating up in your hand. And you're
Yeah.
like, what's going on with my phone?
Yeah, why is it that was my brain right now? So I don't have a number to guess.
Okay.
I'm going to say though, bracket wise,
You can't hurt my feelings, by the way.
I'm
so
going
just
to
hit
say
me
you're
with it.
slightly above average.
Okay. All right.
I'm going to say
Well,
that.
we shall see. And that's really nice of you to say.
Yeah. No, I don't think you're dumb.
I thought I was
Let me
mildly
rephrase that.
retarded.
That was not a good thing for me to say.
I was
Just
worried.
because you have a low IQ doesn't mean you're dumb. I don't believe that you are below average of an IQ.
I kind of I can't say anything, I guess, about what I thought
You can't.
because it might reveal.
Because you're going to.
Yeah.
I know you. This is just
Yeah.
like talking about movies with you. You end up talking about them, and then you reveal the plot to me, and then we don't talk for 3 years.
Yep. So listen to episode 40, and you'll find out how dumb I am.
All right, Garrett. It is now time for us to pick 2 random Wikipedia articles. That's right. We go on Wikipedia, America's most trusted source. And we click 2 articles that are random and pass them off as if they are absolute fact. Are you ready?
Yeah. America's least trusted advisors.
Yeah. All right, you ready?
Not at all even close.
Okay.
Wiki.
As Garrett is pronouncing and trying to type out Wikipedia, I would like to let you all know that we are still waiting for that like and subscribe wherever you're at, and a 5-star review. And if Garrett doesn't get here in time, you know what?
.net.
Give us a 4-star. Honestly, punish him just a little bit.
.org. Oh,
No,
.org.
no, but 5 stars would be great. And Garrett, for the love of God, are you there?
I just picked it on accident. Sorry.
That counts.
I already pressed go.
Okay, I'm gonna click go.
Okay.
How does this man not have more severe ADHD? I'll never know. Okay. I can't pronounce that. Why don't you try first? Because I
This
don't
is
know how
amazing.
to pronounce this.
Are you ready for this? This is so amazing.
Okay.
Ohio's congressional districts.
Oh my God.
This is the best one we've ever got.
Yeah. I don't know. Football's a close second.
We're trying, guys. We are trying so hard to keep this under an hour for you.
Oh.
It's not going well.
I don't know. Let's go with you first.
All right. Ohio's divided into 15 congressional districts, each represented by a member of the United States House of Representatives. Do you know your representative, Seth?
I know
One of them was our new vice president.
I know
correct?
I have the right to representation, and if I don't get it, I'm throwing tea in the Boston Harbor.
You have the right to taxation.
Okay.
And that is it.
Okay, good.
By the way, did you do your taxes yet?
No, I'm still waiting for all the things to come in.
Your W-2s?
Yeah.
Or the other funds?
I'm still waiting for my Swiss bank account to check out.
Yeah. Your W-2s or your notes from your mobsters telling you how you did your cleanup over the weekend?
I can't talk about that because what you get?
Yeah.
So what about the Ohio congressional districts, huh, buddy?
After the 2010 census, Ohio, which up until then had 18 districts, lost 2 House seats due to slow population growth.
Yes,
I feel like that's a punishment.
We do have a big census problem in Ohio. Yeah, we are losing our population. Yeah, no, it's like you moved here and they're like,
Everybody was like, we're getting the heck out of here.
They're like, wait, we have somebody. Hey. Yeah.
They just turn back and they're like, who is it? And I'm just like,
Yeah, they're like, oh God.
and they're just like, yeah, we're going to keep going.
We're gonna keep going. That's why we are not as much of a swing state anymore, because our population keeps declining because it's so freaking cold here sometimes, most of the time.
I think Ohio gets a bad rap, though, don't you?
Oh,
Ohio's
dude, I
pretty
think
wonderful.
Ohio is the best state.
You do, huh?
Easy.
Tell me more about that.
Yeah. I love Ohio.
Here's our senators: Dave Taylor, Greg Landsman.
I am getting so bored.
Oh, sorry, there's 18 of them. I can't
Biscuits,
list
you look this up. Garrett, are you ready for mine?
I'm ready for
okay,
yours.
I don't know how to pronounce this.
them. Okay,
I want to
just
share
try.
my screen with you. Are you
Okay.
ready?
Would you like me to try?
Lausman Sentinent. There's
no N in front of that T.
Lamfatnent.
Lamsvatnet.
Well, whatever this is, it's a lake in the Vaga municipality in Norway.
Oh, I was like, what is that? Is that a country?
Municipality in Innlandet County, Norway. The 2.16 square kilometer. I hate how Wikipedia is constantly giving us kilometers when we're Americans.
I know. Did this website start here or did it start over there? I need to know.
0.83 square mile lake is a part of the Otter River between the villages of, I'm not pronouncing those, But here's what I can't pronounce, Banter Biscuits. If you guys haven't already, please click like and subscribe wherever you're at. And if you have any topic suggestions for this podcast?
Yeah. Remember when you called our people Banter Biscuits?
Please email us at bantergravy@gmail.com. .org? Bantergravy@gmail.com.
And vote yes on listening to this podcast because the shark is threatening me right now.
Good night.
Good night. Take care.